All right, let's get one thing straight. We need to talk about getting old, not the sanitized greeting card version. Knitting peacefully in a rocking chair, skydiving to prove a point. I'm talking about the real deal, nitty-gritty, messy, sometimes hilarious, often frustrating. Life after you've blown out 80 candles, a cake that is now a serious fire hazard. People whisper about it. They avoid it like a contagious disease. They see the wrinkles. They notice the slow gait, and they look away. Looking away is the last thing you should do. We've earned these years, every single one. The silence about being an octogenarian is deafening. Society either pities us or puts us on a pedestal as wise, sexless sages. Neither is helpful. The truth is more complex and more interesting. We're still the same people we were at 30, at 50, just in slightly more vintage packaging. We still have desires, ambitions, a wicked sense of humour. So pull up a chair. Pour yourself a martini, I know I am. It's time for an honest conversation about aging past 80. Let's start with the most obvious truth. Your body, the one you've known your whole life, starts to feel like it belongs to someone else. It's like you've woken up in a foreign country where you don't speak the language. The customs are bizarre. One day, you're reaching for the good olive oil on the top shelf. The next, your shoulder stages a protest, so dramatic you'd think it was demanding union rights. You develop a personal, often vocal relationship with your aches and pains. My left knee is a more accurate weather forecaster than any app on my phone. It's a constant, humbling surprise. This transformation is rarely discussed in its full, unglamorous detail. It's about the sheer effort it takes to put on a pair of socks. It's about mapping every bathroom in a 5-mile radius before you leave the house. It's the chorus of snaps, crackles and pops every time you stand up. People don't talk about it. It's deeply personal and a buzzkill at a dinner party. But ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It makes us feel isolated in a strange new land of physical limitations. My friend Frankie and I have a running joke about our organ recitals. My hip is singing soprano again, I'll say.
Well, my bladder is playing the drums.
We use humour because the alternative is misery. You learn to adapt. You buy the grabber tool. You invest in really good non-slip shoes. Some days the biggest win is getting out of a low-slung sofa. It's not giving up. It's strategic surrender. As your physical world gets smaller, something fascinating happens. Your inner world gets bigger. It's a strange paradox. The days of jet-setting across continents might be over. Even confidently driving at night might be over. Your daily life might shrink to the confines of your home, your garden, a few familiar local spots. The parties get smaller, the social calendar gets sparser, your circle of activity narrows. From the outside it can look like limitation, a slow fade into obscurity. But that's only the surface. People don't talk about this because a shrinking world sounds like a sad story. It sounds like loss. And in some ways it is. You mourn the loss of spontaneity, the ease of movement, the casual way you used to inhabit the larger world. But what they miss is the incredible richness that grows in its place. When you spend less time running around, you have more time to travel inward. You revisit memories, not with sting, but like a historian. You finally have time to read the books, listen to the music, think the thoughts you were too busy for. I've had more profound conversations with myself in the last decade than in the previous 70 years combined. Your mind remains boundless, a frontier for endless discovery. Here's a truth that can sting at first. After a certain age, you start to become invisible. You walk into a room and people look right through you. Service staff might address the person you're with, even if you're the one paying. At family gatherings, the conversation swirls around you, but not always to you. It's as if you've put on an invisibility cloak you can't take off. For someone who has spent a lifetime being seen, noticed and listened to, this can be a shocking and deeply frustrating experience. It feels like you're fading away before you're even gone. This phenomenon is rarely discussed because it's just plain rude. Admitting that society collectively ignores its elders is an uncomfortable truth about our youth-obsessed culture. It's a reflection of a deep-seated fear of aging. If they don't see us, they don't have to confront the fact that they, too, will one day be old. So they render us invisible, a silent population of ghosts wandering through a world that is no longer designed for us. It's a subtle form of disrespect, and it can chip away at your sense of self-worth if you let it. But here's the twist no one tells you about. Once you get over the initial insult of being invisible, you realize it can be a superpower. When no one is paying attention to you, you are free. You can observe everything. You become the ultimate people watcher, a silent anthropologist of the human condition. You hear the most interesting gossip in the grocery store line. You can wear whatever you want. Clashing patterns, outrageous hats, comfortable shoes with a cocktail dress, and no one bats an eye. They might just be gathering intelligence. For most of your life, you're on a mission to accumulate. You acquire a house, a car, furniture, art, clothes, and, countless kitchen gadgets you'll use exactly once. Your possessions become a symbol of your success, your taste, your identity. They are the backdrop to your life, the props in your personal play. You spend decades curating this collection. Then you hit 80, look around at the mountain of stuff you've amassed, and a single terrifying thought crosses your mind. Who is going to deal with all this junk when I'm gone? This is the tyranny of things, and it's a burden no one prepares you for. Suddenly, your cherished possessions start to feel like anchors, weighing you down. The silver you spent years polishing, the china you were never allowed to use, the boxes of old photos you were always going to organize, they become a source of anxiety. You realize that your children, who live in minimalist apartments and read books on a screen, do not want your heavy mahogany dining set or your collection of porcelain birds. This is a quiet, private crisis, rarely spoken of because it feels like a betrayal of your own life's work. The process of downsizing, or death cleaning as the Swedes so cheerfully call it, is an emotional marathon. Every object tells a story. That chipped teacup was from a trip to London. That hideous lamp was a wedding gift from an aunt you adored. Letting go of these things can feel like erasing parts of your history. You're realizing that your legacy is not, in fact, your stuff. And there's honestly immense freedom in travelling light for the final leg of the journey. When you're young, you have friends. Work friends, mum friends, college friends, party friends. Your social life is a sprawling, busy ecosystem. As you get older, especially past 80, that ecosystem changes dramatically. The sheer number of friends dwindles for reasons both sad and practical. People move away, they pass away, they become too frail for social outings. The casual, easy friendships of your youth are replaced by something far more profound and necessary. Friendship is no longer a pleasant accessory to your life. It becomes your primary support system, your sanity keeper, your lifeline. This shift is rarely talked about with the gravity it deserves. We talk about family as the ultimate support network. But at this age, your friends are the ones who truly understand what you're going through. Your children cannot possibly comprehend the daily realities of an 85-year-old body, the unique loneliness that comes with outliving so many of your peers. Your friends can. They are your comrades in the trenches of old age. They are the ones you can call at 3 a.m. to discuss a new ache, a frustrating doctor's appointment, the memory of a shared adventure from 50 years ago. Frankie is my lifeline. We drive each other crazy, of course, but we show up for each other. It is everything. You spend a good portion of your life carrying grudges. They're heavy, awkward things, but you cling to them like security blankets. That friend who betrayed you in 1978, that boss who passed you over for a promotion, that family member who said that unforgivable thing at Thanksgiving. You replay these grievances in your mind, keeping the anger warm. Then, somewhere around 80, you wake up one morning and realize you just don't have the energy for it anymore. The baggage is too heavy and the road ahead is too short to be weighed down. This profound shift toward forgiveness is a quiet, internal process. It's not something you announce at a party. It happens in the stillness of the early morning or the late night when you're taking stock. You realize that holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It only hurts you. You've seen enough of life to understand that people are complicated, that everyone is fighting a hard battle, and that most hurts are born of misunderstanding, fear, or plain old human messiness. The desire for peace finally outweighs the desire to be right. But the most radical act of forgiveness you'll undertake is forgiving yourself. This is the big one. You forgive yourself for the mistakes you made as a parent. You forgive yourself for the career you didn't pursue. You forgive yourself for the words you can't take back. You forgive yourself for not being perfect. You look at the younger version of yourself not with judgment, but with a surprising wave of compassion. You see a person who was doing the best they could with what they knew at the time. It's a profound release, like putting down 100-pound weight you didn't even realize you were carrying. This doesn't mean you forget. The scars are still there, part of your story. Life is too precious to be spent in the bitter cold of resentment. The warmth of forgiveness is a much better place to spend your remaining days. For most of your life, you are governed by a committee of imaginary judges in your head. What will the neighbours think? Is this outfit appropriate? Am I talking too much? You censor your opinions, temper your quirks, and sand down your edges. You spend an astonishing amount of energy trying to please people, many of whom you don't even like. Then, one day, you reach a certain age, and for many it's well into the 80s, you realize the committee has been disbanded. You finally, truly, stop giving a damn. And let me tell you, it is glorious. It's not that you become a rude or unkind person. It's that you stop worrying about the non-essential. You stop wasting time on pretense. You speak your mind with simple, unvarnished clarity. You wear the comfortable shoes. You eat dessert first. You tell your children you don't want to babysit on Friday night because you have a date with a good book and a bottle of wine. You reclaim your time, your opinions and your authentic self. So here's a toast to the journey, to the wrinkles, maps of our laughter and our tears, to the friendships that sustain us, to the glorious hard-won freedom of not giving a damn, to the incredible privilege of growing old, a privilege denied to so many. It's not an ending, it's a culmination, it's the grand finale. And if you play it right, it can be the best part of the whole show.